Welcome back to Riley Every Day as we continue our countdown through the top 5 storylines in the Big Ten. And checking in at number 1, will Purdue become the league's first national champion since 2000? Let's find out. So Matt Painter has turned Purdue into the model of consistency throughout the course of his tenure. Going back to 2016, the Boilermakers have finished no lower than 25th on KenPom with 5 top 10 finishes in that same stretch. Moreover, Painter has guided them to 5 Big Ten regular season crowns, 2 Big Ten tournament titles, and their first Final Four since 1980. You likely remember that as it was just a little over a year ago when they ultimately fell to UConn in the national championship game. But it's actually that point that leads to today's storyline. After nearly reaching the sport's apex in 2024, can Paint and Purdue finish the job? Now, the Boilermakers will be among the favorites to cut down the nets mainly because of their returners, and none are more notable than senior Bryson Smith. His resume is already stacked with accolades like the Cousy Award, Big Ten Player of the Year, and unanimous first-team All-American honors. He's the best point guard in the sport thanks to his special pick-and-roll playmaking and his shot making. Got some numbers to back that up. Last season, Bryson scored 73% of his field goals unassisted. Just elite numbers that show how adept he is at creating his own offense. Additionally, he was responsible for 36.1 points per game per CBB Analytics. And that's a metric that combines what a player himself scores with points scored off of his assists. For context, Smith's number in that category, 100th percentile. But what's crazy is he wasn't even Purdue's leading scorer last year. That title belonged to Trey Karr, who broke out in a big way. He upped his scoring average from 6.4 as a sophomore to 20.1 as a junior. He's super efficient in the paint with a nice mid-range jumper and face-up game, and he might get to the free throw line 10 plus times on any given night. Now, TKR is not a huge assist number guy, partially because he plays with Bryson, but he has all the trust of Painter to handle and make decisions. He was used a ton in these horn sets where he'd make reads and find guards coming off of staggers and pin downs. He ran a ton of dribble handoffs with Bryson, and he's capable in the short roll as well. Fletcher Loyer also returns, and all he's done over the past 2 seasons is make 138 threes at a 44% clip. He's one of the best catch and shoot threats in the country, and he's also pretty underrated at getting to the charity stripe. So what about Purdue's issues? Last year, opponents gashed them at the rim, they had no reliable 5 presence next to TKR, and they lacked that secondary initiator when teams keyed on Bryson. But luckily for the Boilermaker faithful, Painter addressed all of those concerns this offseason. So let's talk that 5 spot. Sophomore Daniel Jacobson returns after missing all of last year with a fractured tibia. He's still a bit of a wild card and he needs to put on weight, but he has a great motor, good defensive instincts, and should provide some shot blocking at 7'4". He'll serve as the backup to South Dakota State transfer Oscar Klefbom, an Aussie big man who's 6'11" with prototypical strength at 260. And Klefbom might just become the best post scorer in the league. He's so polished with exceptional hands and footwork, and you know Painter is just champing at the bit to unleash him. I fully expect the head coach to take advantage of his passing as well. But perhaps the most enticing newcomer is Omar Meyer, who likely starts in the backcourt alongside Fletch and Bryson. The 6'4" Israeli guard lit up the FIBA U19 World Cup, averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. He's an electric shot maker who has the confidence to pull from anywhere, and he elevates his game in the clutch. Plus, he's a really gifted passer, as the assist numbers show. Meyer played real minutes last season in Israel's top domestic league, and he appeared in 8 EuroLeague games as well, at just 18. He might have the highest ceiling of anyone on this roster. Watching him at the World Cup, I had this revelation that hit me like a sledgehammer from Purdue Pete. Purdue has got to win the title this year. This is it. The roster is stacked, the coach is one of the best in the game, and you have a senior National Player of the Year frontrunner leading you. There are no excuses. Get it done.